And today, US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton issued her congratulations to the EU after a meeting with the Italian Foreign Minister Giulio Terzi. During their discussions, they addressed a number of the most pressing issues, including Syria and Iran. For more on their talks, Italy's Foreign Minister joins me now. Thank you very much for coming in, Giulio Terzi. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and all the best to your viewers.
Thank you. Is it ironic that the European Union has won a peace prize just as the Union comes under great strain over the euro crisis?
I believe it is highly symbolic. It is extremely important to see the European Union as a great project for the future. The integration, the political integration beyond the economic integration of the Union is going to remain a fundamental factor for international stability. The Nobel Prize has been awarded because they wanted to recognize the fundamental importance of the Union in keeping peace and security in Europe over the last half a century, and is, in my view, a promise for the future. The fact that this prize has been recognized now.
Yet the future of the European Union, would you not admit, is under a lot of strain?
It has been under a lot of strain. I prefer to see it as a phase which is hopefully coming to an end. Perhaps not an easy end, but what we have seen in the European Council last June, and what is going to happen in the European Council next week, is going to strengthen the governance of the Eurozone, but also beyond the Eurozone, the governance of the European Union as such at 27.
And yet you can understand why the citizens of Europe are not necessarily celebrating this peace prize tonight.
I'm sure that there are many people who are celebrating, and the people are celebrating in the many areas where political parties, federalist movement, and people who are strong believers of the European Union ideals are there, and the celebration is in our heart.
You discussed the situation in Syria today with Hillary Clinton, the US Secretary of State. It seems to be growing worse by the day, and the diplomacy seems ineffective. Is there anything you're going to actually do with the US?
The diplomacy is concentrating on the effort to create the conditions for a better agenda and for a strengthening of the unification of the political forces of the opposition. I see only the way of a political solution to the Syrian crisis, and we have to work intensely with the countries of the region, and especially with the members of the Security Council, to try to come out from the present stalemate, because the civil war is not going to go anywhere, is only going to continue the massacres and the bloodshed that we have seen up to now. So it is extremely important to work more intensely on a political solution based on the alternative that the opposition could provide.
But President Assad is not interested in a political solution.
Is not interested, and it's exactly the point where the international community must increase the pressure on the regime and also create an alternative, a true alternative. I think that the peace, the project which was launched in Geneva and the action of Lakhdar Brahimi, it is extremely important. We are supporting this action, and that was also an element of conversation with Secretary of State today.
Now, you must have also talked about Iran. What can you tell us about the new sanctions against Iran that the European Union is likely to announce next week? What will they be?
The objective is to pursue the dual-track policy, to increase the pressure so that the Iranian regime would finally come to the negotiating table and with substantive ideas on how to implement the resolution of the Security Council and how to stop the enrichment of the uranium to a level which is incompatible with a civilian nuclear program. So sanctions are going probably to be increased. The decision should be taken on Monday in a number of areas, which will probably be...
Can you say anything about which areas?
In the financial sector and transportation, strengthening also the oil sanctions. These are the possibilities that will be considered on Monday.
Italy's Foreign Minister, Giulio Terzi, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're watching BBC World News America. Still to come on tonight's programme.